We want to get over to Dr. Kohli now because we are finally getting a little break from the rain, but all the rain that we have gotten also attracted some mosquitoes, unfortunately.
And some of us are more prone to getting bit by them than others, Dr. Kohli. That's our first question. Jordan never gets bit. I was with him over the weekend. I have 2 bites.
Yeah,
What's the deal?
Some of us are genetically mosquito magnets, in fact. And so studies have shown us if you look at identical twins, they have a very similar rate of mosquito attractiveness as opposed to fraternal twins. In fact, they say 67% or so of how attractive you are to mosquitoes is hardwired in our genetics.
Okay, so does it have to deal with the kind of blood type we are? Because we were talking about this yesterday, and it's so funny because Corey says she always gets bitten. I never get bitten. We both are A positive.
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. So why does a mosquito bite a human? It bites them because it wants the blood meal. It's only the female mosquitoes that bite because they need the blood to make their eggs.
Okay.
And so there was a lot of interest around blood types and whether or not that changes something. And there was some research that came out with the mosquitoes that carry dengue that, you know, blood type O is particularly more attractive. But the newer research has actually debunked this. So we don't think it's blood type that leads to attractiveness.
Oh,
okay.
Interesting.
Is there anything food-wise or perfume? What do we need to stay away from?
What are the factors if it's not the blood type?
Yeah, so we've learned a lot actually about what makes us attractive. So the first is carbon dioxide. How much carbon dioxide do we give off? And so bigger people that give off a little bit more carbon dioxide can sometimes be a little bit more attractive. After you exercise and you're giving off a little more carbon dioxide, that could change things. If you're pregnant, you're giving off more carbon dioxide. Yeah. And it's interesting because they can detect it from 50 to 100 feet away. They actually have these antennae and these little organs called palps that pick up the carbon dioxide. So that's one factor.
That's crazy.
The other is your body odor or the acids on your skin.
So I stink is what you're saying.
Are they attracted to stink or are they not attracted to stink? Because one of us is, we got some funk up in here.
You said it was Corey and Erica, right?
Yeah, exactly. They get bitten.
Yeah.
So it's their perfume. It's their natural body odor. So we all have bacteria that live on our skin. And when we have sweat and all that other stuff, it breaks down that, you know, the sweat, and we give off a very specific odor. And it's a plume, so to speak, that's created around us that can change the way that mosquitoes are attracted. And then finally, it's body heat. So what is our body temperature? Some of us run a little warmer, and the warmer seems to attract the mosquitoes more.
So does this ever change over time, or does it remain pretty constant throughout our lives?
Hardwired, unfortunately, ladies. No. Yeah, and I'm a mosquito magnet too. And so, I mean, there are things that we can do, what we're eating, you know, certain things like beer and how much we're sweating. Like I said, exercise, you know, what's living on our skin at that particular time, that can kind of make us more or less attractive. But we really do have to protect ourselves if we're magnets.
Maybe that mosquito repellent that you
is there a repellent you would recommend? I know I feel like there's good ones and bad ones, right?
We need to be really mindful of this because there are a lot of, you know, mosquito-borne illnesses that can be really pretty dangerous. It's not just a nuisance to get these bites, but it can make you pretty sick. And we've seen a lot of people, even in the Denver area, come down with these mosquito-borne illnesses. So make sure you're wearing those long sleeves. Make sure that they're sprayed with something called permethrin, 0.5%. And then DEET is another good component to have in your insect repellents. But we think about sunscreen. We don't often think about insect repellents when we go out, but that is really an important thing for us to think about for us mosquito magnets.
Pack it in my beach bag, I guess, my pool bag, Dr. Kohli.
That's right.
Dr. Kohli, thank you very much.